Welcome to my Sickle Cell Life podcast. My name is Jan, and today we have a very special guest who's going to tell her story. All right, so what is your name, age, and location?
My name is Charlisia'S. I live in the San Antonio, Texas area, and I just turned 25.
Okay. All right, well, it's nice to meet you. Again, my name is Jan, and of course, we're going to talk about sickle cell today. So, what type of sickle cell? What is your genotype?
I have SC.
SC. Okay. So, how did it get passed down to you?
Both my parents have the trait.
Had the trait. Okay. Mine had the trait as well. And so, what um, what was it like growing up with sickle cell?
Um, Honestly, it didn't affect me as a kid. I think it affected me more a little bit like as a newborn, but like as far as elementary, I didn't have no crisis or nothing. Like everything was like fine in elementary. It didn't really hit me until like I started getting active in sports in middle school. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, like I didn't start getting real bad crisis until like the seventh grade, and then like from the seventh grade up into like my high school and like some of like my college years.
Yeah. Okay. That I can relate to that. I can relate to that a little bit. But
Mhm.
like you said, it's usually when you get a little bit older where it gets worse. But do you remember your first crisis and what it was like?
I actually do. Um, I had a feeling it was a crisis, but I wasn't too sure because I was fine like over the years. Um, what happened? Oh, okay, so like we had like these little water cups in the cafeteria, and I don't know, middle school I went to, they're dirty. So like, I mean, I don't know what kind of water it was. I was fine until like I went to class, and then like it's like something like just hit me in my chest. Like I couldn't breathe or
Hmm.
nothing. And then like I felt like the room was like spinning. So,
Hmm.
I went to the nurse, and then like my mom came to pick me up. She said they should have called the not the hospital, they should have called the ambulance because they put what do you call it? Those like ice packs.
Hmm.
They gave me like one of them ice packs, and at the
Yeah.
time I didn't know like ice packs was like worse to put on,
Yeah,
like,
maybe.
make it worse. So,
Yeah.
she got mad about that. And, I went to the hospital, and they said like my blood was low and I had too many platelets in my blood.
Mm. Mm-mm-mm.
So that's
Oh,
basically what happened. I stayed
okay.
there for like maybe a week and a half.
Okay. Oh man. So at school. That's
That was at school.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I've never had a crisis at school. That's crazy. Luckily, like, but yeah, when you're young, anything can happen. The fact that you were able to play sports is very surprising to me because I knew, and my mom knew early on that I wasn't going to be able to participate in any like extracurricular activity like that
Mhm.
because it would literally trigger me and it would make me so tired. So how did you feel like playing sports and stuff like that? How did it wear on you, if it did?
Um, it weird on me a little bit, but I knew my limits, like how far I could actually go before like, oh, I really need to like sit down.
Yeah.
I basically just stayed hydrated and I was fine as long as I like wasn't overdoing it.
Oh, okay.
But
Eh,
yeah, I would normally like I'm still like I would still be fine like during the summer, but it would normally hit me like when it becomes like really really cold down here. It gets really really cold down here like the end of November, early December. So like that's like
Yeah.
the only time like I will literally be hurting.
Okay.
So like
So
I would literally be fine during the summer. Like all summer I'll be fine until like those 2 months come around.
yeah. And you know what? I had a doctor tell me that sickle cell is not triggered by the weather. A
I feel
hematologist.
like I feel like it's half and half. Like everybody's different
Yeah. But
because
so many of us are triggered by the weather. Like
mhm,
it's I've almost everyone that I know that has sickle cell, the weather affects them in some way, shape, or form with their crises. But
right.
do you know what your biggest trigger is for your crisis?
Definitely either being overstressed or I would say the weather. Those are like the main two ones, the main two.
Yeah, yeah, that's a lot of people. The
But I feel like
weather.
for some people, I don't know. I wouldn't. The only reason I say I feel like it's like 50-50 with the weather is because like some people like grew up in like colder climates. Like I knew this guy, he lived in New York his whole life, so like the cold doesn't bother him. But when it
Uh,
becomes summer, it drains him out.
hmm Yeah, it's probably like, yeah, your body
Mhm.
gets used to a certain environment, and yeah, especially if you've grown up in it, then you're like already kind of acclimated to it anyway. So yeah, I definitely understand all of that. Have you had any like major complications from sickle cell besides your pain crises?
Um, no. Back in 2021, I almost lost my spleen by pneumonia. Like it got so
Okay.
bad to the point where they was actually talking about taking it away from me, and I was
Oh
just like, I'd
wow.
rather just stay on medicine. So I didn't really want my
Yeah.
spleen removed because oh my, like if you think about it, so that's scary. Like, and
Yeah.
then it helps prevent like you know
Yeah, it filters your blood. If
yeah.
Yeah, if it filters your blood. So
Mhm.
my spleen, I still have mine as well, but it's not functioning. It's like a callus ball, basically. They just haven't taken it out. but but that's good though that you haven't had any major complications, other than your crisis and stuff like that with sickle cell, because a lot of people do not have that story. I haven't had any real major complications of it, like stroke or
Mhm.
having to have a hip replacement or anything like that. But I do have pulmonary hypertension, and I got protein leaking from my kidneys and stuff. But other than that, I don't have any like other kind of major organ failure or anything like that.
Mhm.
It You have to count your blessings on certain things, because it could be so much worse than it really is. Now, were you diagnosed at birth?
Yes.
Did your parents ever talk to you about what that was like when you were diagnosed with it?
Well, my mom said she didn't know what it was, and she felt like she did something wrong, like throughout like the pregnancy.
Yeah. So
And
she
I guess
didn't
like,
even know
yeah,
that you had the trait.
no,
Oh, okay. So yeah, your parents were like my parents, and they didn't even know that they had anything at all, and then they're getting hit with this news that their child has sickle cell. So I definitely understand why your mom, felt guilty, like she did something to her baby.
all right.
Uh, do you have any siblings with sickle cell or the trait or any? Or are you the only one?
Um, I'm the only child on my dad's side.
Okay.
I have 2 older siblings. I have a brother and a sister. I don't think they have the trait. Well, yeah, I don't think they have the trait.
When you have it and you don't know, especially in the Black community, it's dangerous because so many of us have the trait and don't know it, and then we get with someone else that has the trait and they create someone with sickle cell. So yeah, that's what testing is key. A lot of people do not have any kind of like family meetings about stuff like this to prevent it from being spread further. But overall, how has your life been with sickle cell?
I would say it's been a challenge now that I'm older. Like, it's been rough. And then literally cost me like 2 jobs.
Yeah.
It hasn't really cost me like my independentness, but mainly like just like stability.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand that a lot of warriors have issues with their job and all of that. They have issues keeping a job because they're constantly in the hospital. How many crises do you have monthly? Do you know?
Monthly, I just had one a few days ago. So I would say like maybe like 3 or 4 times.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow, yeah, I definitely understand that. And how are you able to handle your crisis at home, or do you always have to go to the hospital when you have a crisis?
I try to manage it at home for at least like the first day or so, because like the hospital I go to, it's like on the far other side. And I mean the hospitals like near me, they're not, they think drug seeking and all this. And they just have a long wait, and then they try to make me wait in the waiting room. So I mean, I try to go to the one that's like more like familiar, when I could like just see who's on call for like hematology, and like call and see like, do you have a room open, or do I have to wait? Because if I have to wait, then I'm just gonna try to manage it from the house for a few hours until y'all have an opening. because the hospitals near me, like, I would not go to none of them.
Yeah. You've had what has been your experiences, like some of the bad experiences you've had at these hospitals? Like, what
Oh
are
my
they?
God, there's a lot that just made me say, you know what, like, as soon as I'm able to move back out of my mom's house, like, I'm gonna see about getting an apartment close to the hospital I normally go to. Because the one, I would say the one horrible experience I had with this one hospital, it's literally like 10 minutes down the street. This was like the first time I caught pneumonia, and I thought I was having a crisis because it was literally all in my back and like my side, and I never had a crisis like on my back or like on my side. It's always like my legs and chest. So these was new symptoms, and I was just dragging it. Like, I couldn't get out the bed, and I really didn't want to call the ambulance because normally when I do call the ambulance myself, like I'm home alone or whatever, they try to take me to that one hospital like near, and I'd be trying to tell them, like, you know, like, I can't go there. There's no help. Took me to that hospital. They said I had pneumonia. They was barely giving me any medicine. I normally get morphine and Dilaudid. They gave me like 1 milligram each, and I'm just all like, oh my goodness, like, this is not helping. What is 1 milligram? Like,
Yeah.
and I could just imagine, okay, how that sounds to the doctor. Like, what is 1 milligram? But I know myself. I know my body. I know what I take. I know the milligram.
Right.
So it's just all like, I know this already. 1 milligram is not enough. And I know how it sounds. It sounds like I'm drug seeking when I'm really not. I'm trying to help you do your job.
Yeah.
And I'm just all like, it's all in the paperwork. It's all on the computers. Like, I'm not lying. All you have to do is just look up the name and you will see the doses.
Right. And it's a shame that when you have a hereditary chronic illness, that they automatically label you drug seeking when they know your condition. You do not have a broken arm from 5 years ago that you're still trying to get pain medicine for. You know, I can see if you broke your arm healed, and you're still trying to get pain medicine for a broken arm from 5 years ago, then maybe you have a problem. But if you have a chronic illness that causes pain, and then there's proof like pneumonia of why you're in pain, that they still want to discount your pain. And these hospitals, I would like you to put a name on them. I really would, because the warriors out there need to know not to deal with these hospitals. They need to know the doctors' names, who to avoid, and they need to know the hospital names as well, because we have to protect each other. These hospitals are killing us, literally. They're killing us. So if you know the name of a hospital, baby girl, put an ad on it, because we need to know. I want to know. If I ever move to Texas, I want to know.
I definitely Northeast Baptist, don't do it. And Live Oak, don't do it. Please don't do it. I had a damn near like death experience with them. Like, I don't know what kind of medicine they gave me, but it literally like made me have like flashbacks of like my past life, like the last like moments or whatever, and that really scared me, because I didn't know, like, ain't no medicine ever made me trip out like that bad, where like, why am I like reliving my past moments that I had like months ago, weeks ago, days ago? Like, it makes no sense.
Yeah, they have all kinds of stuff, girl. Them psychotics, and they be trying to give some of us the psychotic medication instead of pain medication,
right?
Because they're thinking something is wrong with you mentally, and it's like, our blood is attacking us. If your blood was attacking you, it would hurt you as well. It would hurt you as well. And so it really makes me angry. Like it hurts because I know so many warriors that are gone from mistreatment in the hospital. And this is why our stories, our bad experiences, we cannot be afraid to tell people, because we can literally save people's lives, like literally save their life. If you let them know, girl, that they did me so bad, then you know, those people will know that they don't care. You know, they don't care when you get in there. Especially if you don't look, you know, the way they want you to look. If you ain't a pale person, they got a problem. And that's the truth, you know? So don't ever, anytime you have like a bad experience, share it. Because warriors have gotten to the point where they will keep tallies of the hospitals that they have these bad experiences at. And I'm not, and when I say bad experience, I don't mean like long wait times and stuff like that. I mean literally rude
with the doctors and doctors.
Yeah, rude doctors, all of that. Like the ones that are dismissive, the ones that, you know, minimize your pain or tell you you're not in pain, or that you look healthy and you shouldn't be here, like stuff like that. We need to know. We need to know these doctors' names, because they don't need to be doctors treating us like that. They really don't. But anyway, do you have a strong support system in your family and stuff like that when you go into the hospital?
I do.
Okay. So you have people that like are able to advocate for you when you can't advocate for yourself and stuff like that?
I like semi kind of do. Like my mom tries her best, but you know, like I try to explain it to the best of my ability to her, to explain to them, because
yeah,
I'm the one laying in this bed. Like you don't know how I feel.
Right.
And honestly, it scares my dad to the point he don't even come. He came to the hospital maybe like twice out of my teen years and adulthood. Maybe a good 3 times.
Yeah, that's a lot of us, and that's why they're able to get away with treating us like that. Because when no one, and I know you may not want someone there every time you go, but if you are ever like incapacitated and you can't tell them what you want, you need someone that can tell them and that can advocate for you, that would know what you would want and what you need, and know how to talk to the doctors to help you out when you can't help yourself out. You know, because you could go in the hospital perfectly sane and able to tell them what's going on, all of that. But if you lose that at any point in the hospital, then everything is in their hands and there's nothing that you can do. So it's good to have somebody. And that's why, you know, I am an advocate, and having other warriors that are willing to, you know, get on FaceTime with you while you talk to the doctors and stuff like that, and advocate for you, help you when you're having a hard time. Like, that's essential, because these doctors will take over, you know, if they don't have nobody there to tell them, hey, don't do this, or no, she wouldn't want you to do that, you know, like that's how they get us out of there, you know, that's how they kill us, literally. So a support system, and this is another reason why I'm doing this, because I want to build up our support system where we have people we feel like we can rely on to advocate for us, that know what we're going through and know our wishes and stuff like that. So if anything happens while we're in that hospital, we'll have somebody that knows, hey, don't do that, or can speak for you, you know?
Right.
It is good to have at least a couple people. Family is best because, you know, you don't gotta tell a stranger your business. You don't gotta put a stranger in your medical business. That's why, you know, I asked. But at this point, what do you feel like the sickle cell community as a whole needs?
Honestly, I feel like we need more clinics out here. As far as per se, like not like necessarily wanting to go to the hospital, but you know, like a little treatment, like a little treatment center. I feel like that'll
Yeah.
be good for like some people who don't want to like do the long hospital stays. Like if you know you're hurting today, like go to the clinic and get treatment for a few hours. And then like,
Yeah.
you know, if it worsens, then you go to the hospital. If it betters and it's like manageable, then you can like just come home.
Yeah. Yep, and I get that. Yep, and the sickle cell centers are
Mm-hmm.
so few and far between. So
Right. I seen
it's
one
no
that was I think in Ohio, and I was just all like, we need one in Texas because it's a lot of us in
right.
Texas.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of us in the South,
Mm-hmm.
period, and yeah, it's not enough. They group us in with cancer, and we have to go to these cancer centers where they look down on you because you don't have cancer. So I definitely um, agree with you on that. Now, do you have any children?
I do not.
Do you want to have kids?
I do, but at the same time, I don't.
Okay. Yeah, I understand.
Like one
Uh,
of my friends, um, her daughter comes over here like some days, and you know, like the few days that I wasn't feeling good. I mean, before like I literally stopped feeling. Before I started feeling bad, like I told her, you know, like I'm gonna take you downtown to go get some ice cream. I found this ice cream spot downtown. You know, she's 3, so you know she was excited or whatever. Like I think the day after I
uh,
told her that, I was feeling so good to feeling like I'm dying. Like I can't come. Like I can't get out of my bed. You know, I just felt so bad. Like I don't know,
yeah.
it really broke my heart. And I was just like, damn. Like looking at that situation, like it makes me kind of not want to have kids. It's just all like you want to do all this stuff, and like some days you can't do it.
Yeah. Yep. I definitely
And
understand.
yeah, it just made me feel like so guilty. Like,
Yeah. I have children, so it's a lot. It's a lot, and I completely understand what you mean. So some doctors would be very proud of you, you know, because they feel like we shouldn't have kids as sickle cell warriors, and they've even told people that they can't have kids, and it's like, unless something is wrong with their uterus or ovaries or something, sickle cell is not stopping you from having kids. And I wish that they quit
I wish it
telling
would
people
stop
that.
that too.
Yeah. I have literally had a doctor while I was pregnant tell me that I shouldn't have my child. And after I've already had a child, I'm pregnant again for the second time. It's like, okay, come on now. I don't got time. But I digress. It's good that you at least are aware of the struggles that you have with it. To where you're like,
Yeah.
no, I don't know if children would be a good idea. My
Yeah.
children are just my source of motivation, and when I can't find a reason to keep on fighting, they are my reason to keep on fighting. So, what are your reasons to keep fighting for sickle cell? What do you do to keep hope alive for sickle cell?
Honestly, I'm still trying every day. Because there's just days I really just do not want to be here. Like,
Yeah.
that pain, like, I honestly hate that. It makes me feel like so angry. Like, I have like this hatred for it, and I really don't want to feel that for nothing. But
Right.
you know,
That's
I try to talk to God about it, like not trying to get so mad about it. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
so you know, I try to like keep pushing every day.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Like,
God is there. He's there, and He hears you, and He is helping you push through the pain. I know that it could get dark, you know. I know it could get hard, and I know sometimes you may feel like it's pointless, but it's not. Okay, I'm here to tell you it's not. There is purpose in your pain. Okay, just like today, and telling your story, and telling your story helps other people. You know, in that way. If you look at it like that, then you can find purpose in your pain. You can. So I some tips I can give you is, I love music. Do you like music? Do you
I
listen
do.
Yeah. Music is definitely a great way when you're in pain to get your mind off of it. You know, put on your favorite songs, your feel good songs, you know, not the slow jams, the stuff that makes you want to dance even though you don't feel good. Music does so much for me to take my mind away from it, because I'll start, you know, when I get into a song I really like, I'll start singing the lyrics and stuff and be forgot that, you know, I'm hurting as bad as I am. I like to I try to deep breathe, you know. Um, as far as medication goes, what is your opinion of all of the medications and procedures that they're calling cures in the sickle cell community?
Mm, for medication, honestly, I'm not really sure. Taking, I've been taking basically just morphine for mine. Um, I used to take hydrocodone, but that just, they should really just throw that one out the window. Some doctors, they won't prescribe morphine for some warriors because it's too like high risk of a medicine. I'm just, we know. I feel like some people, we know how to manage. We know how to manage. You know, but it took them forever to give me more than 7 pills a month. I'm just like, what is 7? Like, I'm not trying to sound funny, but what is 7?
No. What? You said seven?
Oh yeah,
7
seven,
morphine?
morphine, 30 milligrams.
Baby,
I
morphine don't
switched.
even work for me.
I switched my hematologist,
Right.
and I'm
Because
just all
7
like,
is crazy.
7 is crazy. I'm just like,
How do they not expect that to be gone in a week? Or a couple days at best? Like, morphine does not even work for me. I was on extended release morphine for a long time. And I was on immediate release morphine. It doesn't even work for me anymore. I
I get, I get both. I was using the long relief for like when I go to work and stuff.
mhm.
Um, and then the instant ones, I would just use those like when I'm home. Those would like put me to sleep like within like an hour or two.
Right. Like, I need you to refer me somewhere else because I need to be somewhere they are willing to treat my pain adequately. Point blank, period. If these insurance companies and these doctors want you to stay out of the hospital, but they don't want to give you the medication to stay out of the hospital. And that's the messed up
That's
part
the
about it.
issue. Hmm.
It's like, just because everyone else misuses this medication does not mean that is what I am doing, especially if you have not had any instances where you are ODing and have to be resuscitated repeatedly, you know, being found unconscious and blue all the time, and people having to, give you Narcan. Like,
Hmm.
there should be no reason why you are treated like this. And I feel like everyone should have a chance to mess it up. You know, give them a chance with the medication, and if they, mess it up, if they OD or run out too early, then you won't prescribe to them again. But they won't do that. They won't do that. It's literally ridiculous. And then the person that broke their arm 5 years ago can get whatever medication they want. And that's the truth. But have you heard about any of the clinical trials and stuff for the bone marrow transplant and the CRISPR trial and stuff to get cured?
I heard about the bone marrow one, and the second one you said, I haven't heard about that one. And
I think
then I heard about the genotherapy one.
yeah, I think that's the CRISPR one where they do
CRISPR.
your DNA, like they alter it and stuff to where it corrects it to where you don't get that sickle cell anymore or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of these cures, some of the warriors are like, it's not a cure, because it just puts you in trait status and you can still pass it on to your kids. So that's why I wanted to kind of get your opinion on it. Have you have you thought about like us, getting into the clinical trials, or have you tried or anything?
I have with the genotherapy one, the bone marrow one, I'm a little iffy on that one.
Oh, okay. Why? What makes you iffy about it?
Just like finding a match, and then like I don't know, like a few months later it just your body rejects it, or it just getting rejected during procedure.
Yeah.
I mean that runs in my mind heavily, like getting the bone marrow and it like rejecting.
Yeah, I've heard that as well as some reasons why they don't want to get it. I've also heard that if you do it and you get chemo as a woman, you'll be infertile after you do the procedure. So, which some people have, opted to freeze their eggs before they get the treatment, and then they'll still have the option afterwards. But a lot of people have, I know at the beginning of that, it deterred me from the clinical trial because I had just gotten married when I heard about it, and I wanted to have another baby. And they were like, well, if you do it, you will be sterile. And at the time, there was nobody willing to pay. None of the companies were willing to pay for the fertility drugs to be able to extract your eggs to save them and freeze them. So you would have had to pay for it yourself out of pocket, and that stuff is expensive. So I was just like, I'm good. But I learned though with the bone marrow transplant that if you find a match, they can have the trait, they can have sickle cell trait and still donate bone marrow to you to cure you. And I didn't know that. I thought that they had to have like clean blood, no nothing. They couldn't have the trait or nothing. But I learned something yesterday. But at this point, I just want to ask you if there's anything that you want to say or talk about that I haven't asked you.
How was it like? How did you like end up telling your husband about like you having sickle cell? As we all like first started dating.
Honestly, I just told him. Like I tell everybody up front because it's a major thing that I deal with. It impedes on my life heavily. Just like you say it's been a struggle with you, you're always in pain. I'm the same way. Even though I haven't had real major complications, the pain is one of my major complications that I deal with all the time. And so being in and out of the hospital like that, I just feel like it's wrong to not let someone know what they're signing up for ahead of time, so that they even know if they want to deal with it. And then also, I want to get their reaction, like to see what they're going to say, because if it's a deal breaker for you, it's definitely a deal breaker for me, because I need you to understand what you're jumping into, what roller coaster ride you're getting on. And so when you get on and things get crazy, I don't want you to say that I didn't tell you, and it's literally as simple as when you're talking to these people, and you don't got to tell every single person you talk to your business immediately, but if you start to develop feelings, like real feelings, not in the talking stage where y'all just getting to know each other and stuff like that, not in the talking stage, like the maybe not on the first date, you don't have to, but I do, because I'm just that honest. But if you feel like there's no future beyond that first date, then there's no reason to say anything. But if you start to develop feelings and y'all are gonna get intimate or anything, you definitely need to tell them before then. Because I have had times where sex has put me in the hospital. So I want them to know, because sickle cell is so unpredictable. Crisis be so unpredictable. We could be doing out having fun 1 minute, and the next minute I gotta be rushed to the hospital, and I want them to know, hey, but This is what you're getting into. And if you accept it, then I know that you really love me and you can really go through this with me, and support me. But if it's like, I don't know, if they got any kind of hesitance, it's a no-go. It's a no-go, because I'm not cured. This is something I deal with day in and day out. I'm most likely gonna go to the grave with it. It's always gonna be an ongoing problem. And then on top of that, to take it further, I'm doing stuff like this, where I'm always talking about it. I'm always talking to people that have it. I'm always on lives talking about it. I'm always everywhere talking about it. So it's like, you're going to get tired of hearing about sickle cell if you with me. You're going to get tired, because I need you to know how deep it go. I need you to know how much it really affects everything. It affects your mental. It affects your emotional. It affects your physical. Like, it affects you financially, like your jobs and everything. And I feel bad for my poor husband, because he has lost a few jobs because I be in the hospital, and they don't care, because he wants to be with me and he has to get the kids when I'm not able, and they fired him. So that how your jobs did you though, when they fired you, or did you have to quit because you were always getting sick?
I quit one of my jobs because I was just getting too sick. Like, I was in and out the daycare for like 4 years, dealing with 3 different daycares. But the first one I quit because, when kids get sick, I get sick. And when I get sick, it's like worse than the kids getting sick.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that was a major issue for one of the jobs. And then I didn't tell them up front until like I bought the note from the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And then they wanted to know like what happened, what was the issue.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I just felt like I didn't necessarily need to explain myself to them. Like, I mean, I have the proof of the note, and
right,
like,
yeah, for jobs, yeah, I feel like I don't really say nothing to them until I absolutely have to.
Right.
It's just different for relationships. But how has sickle cell impacted your social life and your relationships?
It definitely like made me not want to like tell people that I'm cool with, unless like I'm like necessarily like super close to you and I trust you in the information. Mm-hmm. Because there's like two people that I trust with the information, and it didn't go good in my favor. And it just literally made me like pick and choose like who I want to tell and who I don't want to tell.
Yeah.
And as far as relationships, honestly, like I stopped talking about it, because I mean, this one person I was talking to, I told about, and I thought the conversation was good until like we got in an argument, and he threw my medicine out on the highway, and I was just like, yeah, never again.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
Never ever again.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And I'm just all like, that is don't want to say traumatizing, but that just makes me not want to trust like nobody.
Yeah.
Like
I
I can't even trust you enough to be in the car with you, let alone like invite you into my home and like what if you get mad and like throw my stuff down the toilet? I don't know. Like that's the thoughts that be going through my mind.
yeah. Oh yeah, I get it.
I
I
mean, like I know everybody's not like that, but you never know. You never know with
yeah.
people.
And that's where it's you gotta vet people for sure. And I would say, even if you tell them about your diagnosis, you don't have to tell them about all the medications and stuff that you're taking, because you don't know what these people, have been on, abused, or anything, you know,
Right.
and they may try to use you, because people will steal medication and stuff like that, especially when it's painkillers, when it's narcotic painkillers, they will
Yeah.
steal your medicine.
And it was earlier. It was a hard time, like trying to like tell the doctor, like, hey, this happened. Like, I need another refill.
Mm-hmm.
Like that process, I would never wish that on nobody.
Oh yeah, and then
They
yeah,
sat up here and thought I took the whole bottle. I'm just like, if I took
yeah,
the whole bottle, I wouldn't be standing up talking to you.
right, right. But yeah, I definitely understand that, Chad. I definitely understand that, and
But the
they look
two
at you sideways.
hematologists that I got, like, I'm grateful for them. Like, they actually listen to me and take time out their day to actually listen to my wants and needs.
Right, and that's
And
good.
then,
That's what they're
yeah,
supposed to do. That's
and
why we
then
need
she
to.
took the time out of her day to be like, if I ever decide to like settle down with somebody, to like bring them directly to her office so they could get tested.
Yep,
I'm just like, oh wow, no other
yep.
doctor has ever told me that. But okay, cool. Like I would definitely keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm. Yep. They tested my husband. So, yep. It's a must. It's a must.
Yeah,
I
heavy
like
on
I
the must.
if you get serious, or if they developing feelings for you, I think it's definitely appropriate. Like if y'all definitely are mutual, have mutual feelings for each other, it's appropriate to let them know what you go through, so that they could be there for you. Because if they really care for you, then they're gonna want to know so that they can be there for you, and so that if anything happens, they will know what to do. But of course, that takes time, getting to know people, and building up that trust. And it may not happen overnight, or very early on in your relationship or friendship or whatever. But the person that's meant for you is gonna want to know what you go through so they can support you. So just keep that in mind. If they don't support you in your journey and everything that you go through and want to advocate for you regarding that, they're not for you. They're really not. I definitely
Gosh.
it's your partner, and tell them you feel comfortable. But I do want to thank you. I do want to thank you for being a part of this episode of the podcast, for allowing me to interview you. And I hope that as the podcast grows and grows, that maybe we can have a second interview and do a check-in with you to see how you're doing,
Yeah. Oh, that'd be
after a
good.
while. Yeah. Thank you again for your time. Thank you so much. And I look forward to talking to you. You have my number now, so we're
Mm-hmm.
friends. I'm here for you. You can hit me up just to talk like regular friends. Thank you so much. And we're out of here.